Yo, what is up, everybody? It's your boy Soto here with the Autumn Windbags, back with another one. Here's what we're doing today. This is my way too early mock draft, version 2. Want to put something out here with a little bit more flair, a little more pizzazz. So I did a mock draft. The last mock draft I did was live. And the thing about that one was it was good, but it didn't allow me to give enough time to each pick to be able to talk about that pick and the reasons why I selected that person. Also, this allowed me to watch more tape on the people that I did select and also give a little bit more insight on why I feel we should have picked them there. There's some iffy things. There's a kind of a theme going on right now with my draft. I think you're going to like it. So without further ado, we're going to start with a pre-draft trade. I have identified the Carolina Panthers and Frank Reich, a head coach, as a team that would like to have Derek Carr as their quarterback. My reasoning being that Frank Reich wanted to trade or offered us 2 first-round picks before the beginning of the year last year for Derek Carr. And he has a new opportunity, a new place. Why not start off on the right foot with the quarterback that you really wanted? You didn't really want Matt Ryan. You kind of thought he was a little bit over the hill. You got him for a 3rd-round pick. Offered two ones for Derek, and you still like him regardless of what happened last year. You think you could fix him. You think you can give him a better position to succeed than he had with the Raiders. So you want to go after him, but there are some issues going on right now. He has a contract that maybe isn't going to be as appealing as others would like. I don't want to say he's damaged goods, but some of the shine has been rubbed off of him because of his struggles this last year. And also, the Panthers don't have to necessarily trade for him to get his services. He can wait. They can wait and just battle it out with everyone else when he goes into free agency. But they want to jump the gun. They want to give the Raiders something in return. I think that because the way things are going, he's not going to go for anything super high. And so here's the draft, pre-draft trade. All right. So pre-draft trade, the Raiders get a 3rd-round pick and a 4th-round pick. So 3rd-round pick number 93 and 4th-round pick number 132. And the Carolina Panthers get quarterback Derek Carr. That is the pre-draft trade. So on top of the picks we already have, we also have an extra 3rd and an extra 4th-round pick to bolster our roster. So that's what I think is going to happen. That's, kind of what I think he's going to go for. Do I think he's going to go for? Do I hope he goes for more? Yes, but more teams have to be involved. If it's just really one team involved and Derek Carr wants to go there, it's not the optimal situation as far as they're ready to win right away. But he is comfortable that Frank Reich just got there, got a nice big deal. He's going to be around for a while, and Frank Reich likes him. He wants him there. He's going to feel a little bit more comfortable there. That's why I chose that trade. All righty. So going off to, starting off with our first pick, I don't know what's going to happen at quarterback with us. I don't know if we're going to sign somebody, if we're going to trade for somebody. Not sure. I'm going under the assumption that we're going to sign a quarterback, not trade for one. So we're not dealing that deal with trades. So we're going to, at number 7 is our 1st-round pick at number 7, and we're going to go with quarterback from Florida, Anthony Richardson. All right. In the mock draft that I did, all 3 of the first initial quarterbacks that were 1st-round rated were already taken. I didn't know that there were some quarterback needy teams behind us that could have taken Anthony Richardson and either at their pick or some other teams that could have traded back into the 1st round before we picked again at 38 to get Anthony Richardson. He is not by no means a finished product, but I will say some of the pros for Anthony Richardson. Great size and speed combo. 6'4", 235. He runs a 4.4 40. If you've seen tape on this guy, he is a dynamic runner. He's probably, his size and speed at elite ball, deep ball. Al Davis would have freaking loved this kid. He would have moved heaven and earth to get Anthony Richardson on his team. He's hard to sack, breaks tackles, keeps his eyes downfield when he scrambles. And I don't know that we've seen a prospect with better raw talent and skills as far as his measurables in a few years than Anthony Richardson. He's that special an athlete and that special a prospect. All right, some of the cons. With the ultimate risk comes the ultimate reward, right? So the risk, he's as accurate as issues, as accurate as he is on the deep ball, he's that inaccurate on intermediate and short passes. He misses high a lot, and he wants to make the big play down the field, so that causes him to sometimes hold on to the ball a little bit too long. He does have a little bit of a lack of experience. He's only a one-year starter in college. It was a very good year for him as far as stats go, but it was only still 1 year. When things go wrong around him, he can get swallowed up by the game. Opposing defenses, game momentum, his own play. He can get rattled if things around him aren't going well. Now look, that doesn't sound great, but hear me out. Because of the way teams look at the quarterback position and how offenses have evolved in recent years in the NFL, Richardson can be a better version of Cam Newton, or he can be an actual Terrell Pryor, right? It's that wide of a span of who can this guy become. I think his accuracy problems are due to mechanics. When he's letting the ball rip, I think he doesn't think about it and he just lets it rip. That's why his deep balls are so good and so accurate. I think he kind of tries to aim and point his throws on short and intermediate throws, and his mechanics fail him a little bit. His arm angle kind of fails a little bit sometimes, and he doesn't set his feet properly or get his feet in position, and he ends up sailing the ball a little bit high. I think that can be fixed with coaching, and that's definitely what he's going to get with us here at the Raiders. It's a big risk going for Richardson, and any team that pulls a trigger on him is going to need another starting option for the first 1 or 2 years at least. He's going to need that much seasoning to be able to be ready to learn on the job. So, again, high risk, high reward with Anthony Richardson here. The other three quarterbacks were already taken. I don't know that we would have had a chance to pick a quarterback that we wanted at 38. And with his upside, it's hard to pass up on this. If you surround him with good quarterback teammates and show him around and show him and mentor him, it's going to be key. If his mentality is right, which I think from all accounts it is, he can grow like a Jalen Hurts that had some questions coming into the league and develop nicely in a few years. Or he can shrink like, our old quarterback did under the pressure and scrutiny of this coaching. It's a big swing. If we connect, like I said, he can be a better version, a more accurate and better thrower than a Cam Newton. And if we miss, he can be like a Terrell Pryor. And I'd rather not take this big of a risk in the first round, but his talent is just too hard to pass up. All right. Coming in next in our second round pick, we have number 38, round 2. I went with linebacker edge rusher Drew Sanders. Now, Drew Sanders actually started his career in Alabama, and he was more of a I don't know, like used as a regular linebacker, right? Like he wasn't really an edge rusher. They didn't really use him on the edge. Good things about him, the pros, his size. He's 6'5". He's really tall for a linebacker, rangy, long arms. He transferred from Alabama to Arkansas this last year, and they used him primarily as an edge rusher, and he flourished. He's a relentless pass rusher. High motor guy, good instincts in pass protect in pass rushing. And this last season he recorded 39 pressures, 25 quarterback hurries. He had 3 quarterback hits and 11 sacks. So he's always around the ball. He shows enough quickness and lateral movement to go from sideline to sideline when he does play linebacker, which will help him if he's running plays up from behind. Some cons about Drew Sanders. He's tall for a linebacker, but he doesn't have a very large frame, so I don't think he can pack on too much more weight as far as muscle goes for his frame. So he's going to be a thinner, smaller edge rusher / linebacker. They were right now he's kind of a one-trick pony as a pass rusher. He's got kind of a speed outside rush, and he needs to get some more seasoning and develop a counter move, like a spin move or a dip move, where he kind of does almost like a European crossover, like in basketball, and Euro step. But I mean, the raw talent is there. This guy, he's, like I said, a one-trick pony, but it's a hell of a trick. If he doesn't win off the snap right away, he can get stuck on tackles. But this guy shown against elite competition in college that he can be a game wrecker. If you have 2 guys on the edges like him and Max, pressuring the quarterback, hitting the quarterback, hurrying the quarterback consistently, I think you have a good combination. And the way that Patrick Graham uses his edge rushers, they're almost like outside linebackers where they sometimes drop back into coverage. He has the height and the movement skills to be able to cover. Oregon has Sewell, there's Auburn Hall, Georgia's Smith. They may be better linebacker prospects, but I went with Sanders here because of his pass rushing ability. I think that's something that we need to really focus on is get better pass rushing. And like I said, even though he's a one-trick pony, it's a damn good trick. We still have Diablo and possibly Perryman at linebacker, so he's not going to have to play linebacker a lot, but he can still do it if he needs to. It's having a plus linebacker and edge rusher combo at this stage with this kind of pass rushing ability. He's only been an edge rusher for 1 season. It's too hard to pass up at this point. All right. Our next pick is in the 3rd round at number 70. And I went with the edge rusher from Northwestern, Adetomiwa Adebowore. Oh, man, I butchered that. Adetomiwa Adebowore out of Northwestern. Okay, this guy, no linebacker slash. This guy is a pure edge rusher. So he's a freak. He's 280 pounds, and he's still got room to pack on, I think, a little bit more size and muscle if he needs to. He's strong. This man is a strong bull rusher. He's going to get up in your face. He's going to make you look silly if you're not ready for him. And this is a brutish style pass rusher. So if you notice a little bit of a trend here, I'm going for like the physical freaks. I'm going with the people that have high measurables and also show that they can play at the college level. He's quick off the line, has power to bull rush anybody. Has a long athletic build, so long arms can keep from getting the offensive tackles locked in on him. He fights through blocks, stout, setting the edge in the run game. Think a bigger Yannick Ngakoue, but plays the run better. He's a more active tackler. Some of the cons: he's a little on the short side for an edge rusher. He's only 6'2", and that's what he's listed at. Who knows what he actually is? Because of this, he can get swallowed up if he doesn't initially win the snap. It happens. Although he's fast on his get off, he's not like a twitchy, quick athlete where he's going to be able to change direction quickly and stuff. He's going to have to be more of a technician when it comes to developing secondary moves off of his bull rush. Excuse me. He sets the edge well in the run game, but he's not particularly good in the pursuit of runners. So that's something that just maybe can be coached to him to be a little bit more active and catching ball carriers from the backside. So if Double A was like 2 or 3 inches taller, he'd be like a lock first round draft pick. He has that kind of ability. With that extra size, he wouldn't have those troubles with offensive tackles that he sometimes has in college. But he's not. That's why he dropped to round 3, and that's why I'm happy to have him. His raw tools, they can be polished up with the right coaching. He's right now, without much improvement, he's flirting with double-digit sacks a season. If he can improve and get better, we're looking at like another type of if you think of like Tamba Ali type beast, where he's not huge, but he's relentless, he's strong, and he definitely is strong in pass rush, and he could be that type of 12, 15, 17-ish type sacks because of the way he plays and having Max on the other side. All right. So that's Double A and our first third-round pick. With our second third-round pick, I'm surprised he was still there at 93, but he was there, so I took him. Guard out of USC, Andrew Voorhees. If we can get him at 93, wow. Some of the pros here, he's thickly built, strong. He's a brutish blocker. Good length, good feet. He's able to create space with his initial kick, so he's not going to get, he can handle initially some speed rush. This dude's like a heat-seeking missile when he's asked to pull in the run game. He locks in on targets. He freaking annihilates them. He's just got a thicker, stout lower body, and he handles bull rushes really well. But he's quick enough to handle counter moves and stunts and stuff like that. Some of the cons with Voorhees, he struggles with speed rushers. Initially, he creates space, but I don't know what it is, but he struggles with speed rushers. Being a guard, he may not have to deal with that quite as much, but some of the more elite defensive tackles, he's gonna struggle with their speed. He hits the second level well, like I said, as far as rushing in the run game, but he doesn't really stick on his block too well. He punches and he gets there and he blocks, but he allows the ball carrier to make the play too often. I'm sorry, the person he's blocking to make the play on the ball carrier too often. He's good in the blocking scheme when he's moving, but if he needs to lock on and drive somebody, he needs some help. He needs some work doing that. Maybe get his pad level and hip level a little bit lower. He could play a little bit high sometimes when he's looking to drive, and that's kind of weird from his size. He's 6'6", over 300 pounds, so he should be able to do that. If he can drop his hips, he can be able to drive a little bit better. Ziegler and McDaniels, they would be, like I said, it's ecstatic if Voorhees was available at 93. He's a plug-and-play starter for years. You get this guy, you can put him at guard, and he's going to play for you at guard for years to come. His issues mostly are technique-based, and Voorhees has the quickness and strength to execute. He just needs to be more consistent. Again, we're looking at freak athletics here. This guy's a freaky athlete for his size. He moves really well. That's what I'm going for right now, is getting big-time athletes who've shown they can perform at the next level. All righty, here we go. That was our second third-round pick at number 93. Our next pick is in the fourth round at number 109, and we selected safety out of Ohio State, Ronnie Hickman. Some of the pros from Ronnie Hickman: ideal size and speed for NFL safety. He's got explosiveness to cover tight ends and bigger wide receivers. He's good in space. He reads the quarterback eyes well. He can cover ground and break up plays. He's a big-time hitter. He's not afraid to support in the run. And on top of his good coverage and run support skills, he's an excellent blitzer, good closing speed, chases down ball carriers, whether it be quarterbacks or running backs from behind. He's willing to get in there. He can blow up screen plays. He's a prototypical, in that sense, a prototypical safety. Some of the things he needs to improve on. He sees plays develop in front of him, but sometimes he hesitates. He doesn't trust what he sees all the time, and it allows plays to happen in front of him. Now, once they do, he closes well and he finishes, but there are plays that he can make that he doesn't, and he's a little bit late on because he hesitates a little bit. He's susceptible to good route combinations. He needs to learn how to identify those combos and stuff a little bit better. His vision is good, but in the run game, he sometimes can take poor angles. And he hits hard, but he needs to wrap up better. He needs to learn how to wrap up a little bit more. Ball carriers sometimes bounce off of his tackles, or he gets dragged a little bit sometimes. So to wrap it up, I think this would be a home run pick in the 4th round. Hickman has all the skills and tools you're looking for to be an impact player in the secondary. Patrick Graham would love to get him on the team, get his hands on Hickman, and develop him into a huge, big-time playmaker. If he learned to trust his eyes a little bit more, and maybe that's more of doing a better homework on what you want to do as far as route concepts and combos and stuff. If he would learn to trust and have a little bit more confidence in what he sees, he's going to make a lot more plays than he does now. He makes plays now, but he'd make a lot more plays. This would be an absolute steal at 109. All the issues that I see can be fixed through coaching and sharpening his skills. These are the type of players that we need to fill out our roster. These types of playmakers that can get coached up, who've shown flashes of what they can do, just not as consistent. All right, that was our 4th round pick. Again, we pick again in the 4th round at number 132, and I selected the cornerback out of Maryland, Jacorian Bennett. Hey, what do you know? Another freakish athlete. This dude has like a 42-inch vertical leap, and he's got decent speed. So ball skills are what you're looking for in a cornerback. This guy's got ball skills. He goes up to get the ball, and he makes plays. He closes fast, loves to hit. He's much better in zone. He sees the field well. He reads the quarterback's eyes well. Good in zone coverage. Some of the things that are the cons with Mr. Bennett. He's listed at 5'11". I doubt that he's that tall. He doesn't look that tall when he's on the field. It looks a little bit smaller. He's got shorter arms and smaller hands. Again, it doesn't seem to have hindered him in college making plays, but I don't know. If he goes up against some of those big-handed receivers, he might get balls snatched from him. His lack of size, is compounded. He's also got inconsistent footwork. It can put him in bad positions against smooth route runners. He doesn't react quickly to back-end plays. So if his man isn't the initial target and he has to cover for longer periods of time, it almost seems like he can get disinterested and let his man get open. So to wrap Bennett up, he's a crazy athlete, man. It's possible he's gotten as far as he's gotten in his career because of his athletic ability. He just hasn't been as diligent developing his technique. This could be corrected with good coaching. At the very least, it could be improved. Bennett is like a throwback Raiders corner. He's an insane athlete, a vicious hitter, but his feet need serious help. He needs help with his back pedal. He needs help transitioning from his back pedal to running backwards and covering a deep ball. Smooth route runners right now are going to be able to get open on Bennett. For all of his flaws, he doesn't lack for confidence. If he can steadily improve, we can have a future starter for years to come here. That's how special of an athlete he is, even with all the things he needs to improve. He's that special of an athlete. All righty. Coming up next, we actually have another trade. These are the kind of trades that Ziegler needs to make. Drop down a couple of spots, pick up extra picks. I don't think that anyone's going to jump out at us at 143 that we have to have that we wouldn't have gotten at, let's say, 146. And even if the guy we wanted at 143 gets selected, I think we can have a fair option at 146 as well. So this trade, the draft day trade, Atlanta wanted to move up a couple of spots to 143. So they get the 5th round pick number 143, and we get 5th round pick number 146. And to drop down 3 spots for our troubles, we also get a 7th round pick number 227 in this year's draft from the Falcons. And this is what we did with our 5th round pick number 146. I went with Jalen Duncan, the tackle out of Maryland. Ideal size for a tackle, man. He's 6'6", well over 300 pounds. Plays with good balance, even though he's a big guy, plays with really good balance, has long arms, heavy hands. Absolute mauler in the run game. Another run game mauler. Locks on and drives past the whistle. He's got a mean streak in him, and he's a pancake machine when he gets his hands on you. He's good moving forward to the second level as well, and he just looks for people to hit. Some of the things that needs to be cleaned up with Mr. Duncan, his footwork can get sloppy at times, and his feet can stall after contact. So once he locks it on a defender, he can fight too much with his hands and his upper body, and he forgets to move his feet. He relies too much on his initial punch in pass protection and sometimes fails to move and reset his hands if they get pushed down. He needs to play with better leverage in the run game. He shoots off quickly in the run game, but he plays kind of high, kind of like Voorhees. He needs to learn how to drive with the lower pad level. And that can cause a little bit of a balance issue with him in the run game. So these are the types of players that you're going to find in this and these later rounds that have great measurables or some things and need work in others. If he was more consistent with his feet, if he drove out lower in his blocks and more consistent doing that, he would be a 2nd, 3rd round pick. But he has these issues that need to be cleaned up. That's why he's a 5th round pick. Boomer bust pick here. Coach Basilio and assistant coach Clemens in the offensive line have their work cut out with him with Duncan. But if they hit, it's a boom, man. This guy's going to be a freaking starter for years to come. His floor is high and his ceiling is sky high. Right now, he can be a rotational guy. Think of like the Thayer Munford type guy, but with, I think with a little bit better mobility skills. If Munford takes that 2nd year leap and is one of the starting guards, Duncan can be used in that reserve backup role and, tight end eligible role, because I think he's kind of like this year's Munford that we had last year. All righty. Our next pick is in round 5, number 174, and I went with quarterback out of Kansas State, Julius Blentz. This dude is a big, athletic, freaking corner. He's 6'4", over 200 pounds, elite size at the corner position, long arms, high points the ball well, and he goes up and he attacks the ball. He shows good straight line speed to track balls in the air and competes for the ball when it's in the air. And I'm telling you, man, this guy is a super athlete. He's a willing tackler and run support, takes on blockers well, sticks his nose, blows up runs, and blows up screens. So kind of what we need out of our corners. All right. Again, if he's this good, if he's got this good measurables, why is he still there in the 5th round? Footwork is a big concern with him. Doesn't look comfortable moving backwards and coming out of his back pedal. So he can lose ground that way. Smoother route runners are going to be able to turn him around unless he improves this. He's got good speed, but it doesn't translate into closing speed. Maybe he breaks down a little bit too much and doesn't attack the ball carrier as much. But I've seen him give up a few more yards than he needs to because he doesn't attack the ball carrier as much. He sometimes takes bad angles and allows for much bigger plays. He needs to be a better study and to be able to recognize routes a little bit better. These are the type of players you're going to get in the 5th round and beyond. Good in some places, poor in others. But as far as projects go, you can't ask for much more than this package right here. Huge kid, hard worker, doesn't shy away from contact, wants to get better. His height speed combo will help cover up initially some of his technical deficiencies, but it's not going to help him against shiftier wide receivers. Those guys are going to eat him up. Against bigger wide receivers and tight ends and stuff, he's going to be able to help out with that. But the smaller, shiftier guys are going to eat him up initially. If he can kind of close that technical ceiling gap from his physical measurables, he can be a really good player. He's going to have to get a PhD in route running and route combos and route concepts, because it's going to help him identify these routes and combinations quicker. So some of his change of direction and lateral movement deficiencies won't be as prominent, and he can use more of his athletic ability. And you could use his length and his size to break up more plays. Tariq Woolen was also, I believe, a 5th-round pick last year, or a 6th-round pick, not sure. And he had similar concerns in the draft, a bigger, longer corner who had similar concerns, and they were able to coach him up, and he, is a badass. If Blentz can get anything close to that, it's a grand slam pick. All right. That was round 5, and we're moving into round 6. And despite what we think of our high-end players and skill position players, we do need some wide receiver help. And I chose in the 6th round, number 184, I chose Ronnie Bell, wide receiver out of Michigan. Some of the pros on Mr. Bell: got decent straight line speed. He's fearless in traffic. He'll go over the middle, doesn't care. He runs the tough routes for the tough yards. But he's good in space. If you get him the ball with a little bit of space, he's shifty, he can move, and he got a little bit of wiggle, and he can get extra yards definitely that way. Some of the things that he needs to work on: Mr. Bell's got inconsistent hands, and it appears like it's mainly due to concentration issues, because he makes the tough catches, but he drops the easy ones. So it's not due to physical ability. It's more of a concentration thing, I think. He'll make people miss at times, but he has trouble creating separation in his routes. He's got quick feet, but it doesn't translate into his route running. To sum him up, he's a little bit lower on the list in ranked prospects, but I like him. I like the fact that the issues that he's showing aren't physical issues. It's just concentration issues and technique issues. He's quick enough to be a good route runner, but he doesn't run routes well. Why is that? Well, it's technique. If you want to learn from somebody, you have a teammate who's one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league at running routes. If you have trouble concentrating on catching the ball, you got one of the best in the league there to help you on things you can do to help get your hands more consistent. Again, over the middle in traffic, boom, his hands are solid. When he's a little bit more open, swing passes, like the screen, stuff like that, he drops the ball sometimes. Easy plays, he drops the ball sometimes. That's more of a concentration issue than anything. But honestly, if you need to mentor a quarterback, you have one hell of a mentor in Davante Adams. All right, that was the first 6th round pick at number 184. We got one more at the 6th round, and I picked safety DeMarco Helms out of Alabama. This guy is an intimidator. He has legit NFL size, and he loves to hit. He closes fast on ball carriers and is a thumper underneath routes. If you catch the ball underneath, you better watch out, because he's going to be there to crack you. He plays with physicality, takes on blockers well. He doesn't shy away in the run game. He'll blow up screens and tosses from the line of scrimmage if he creeps up. Has good, strong hands. He'll make plays on the ball when he needs to. Some of the things he needs to work on: he's average in zone coverage. He's not great in man-to-man coverage. He needs to become a better man in man coverage. He's probably best to be left out in space and be a kind of a center fielder. Although he's better at zone coverage, he's sometimes slower to react to plays in front of him, which isn't a good combo. If you're not great at man, you react slow to things in front of you. But this just shows what kind of athlete he is with how well he's played, considering he has those issues. With all these freak athletes drafted in the secondary, we need an enforcer, and this guy is an enforcer. Helms can definitely be that. He's a fearless hitter, breaks down on the ball well, and takes good angles. Again, he's better in zone than he is in man. think of like a Jonathan Abram, but with much better coverage skills coming out of college. So I'm not saying he's like a Jonathan Abram. He's esque, but he's better in coverage. Right now, he'll probably be a core special teamer with his ability to run and hit and take good angles, and a chance to develop into a starter. With improving his coverage skills. I'd say he could probably grow with better skills. He can grow into a slightly smaller Cam Chancellor, big hitter. Can make plays on the ball when he needs to, or he can be a slightly bigger Jonathan Abram with better coaching and better coverage skills. So he's one of the in between guys. This is the kind of pick that you want in this kind of area. A guy that has really good skills, but you could polish up other things, start him on special teams, progress him through as years go on. You don't pick a Jonathan Abram in the first round with those kind of deficiencies in coverage. You pick him in the 6th round, right? And that's what I did. All right, we got 2 picks left in the 7th round. And all right, our first 7th round pick, I chose cornerback out of Louisville. Forgive me here, Katrell Clark. Now, if you can't notice, he has a chain on that says "Born Ready." He does not lack for confidence. Now, he's not super fast, but he can make things happen if he gets his hands on the ball. He's quick. He stays low. He's a pesky defender, stronger than he appears, and he gets off of blocks well. So he's hard to block. He's good in the run game. His eyes are always in the backfield in zone coverage. He's always reading the quarterback's eyes. He makes good breaks on the ball, has good straight line speed, and closes well to the ball carrier, and he's a willing hitter. Some things that he needs to work on. Technique is a concern. So his combination of average speed for his position and his high back pedal, he's susceptible to faster receivers who are going to get up on him quick. If he lets the receiver get up on him fast and makes him indecisive, they're going to eat him alive. I'm thinking that maybe he can be a good return man with his speed and his shiftiness. I don't think he's anything more than a special teams player right now, and he could develop into a rotational dime corner, and who knows, maybe he can develop into something more than that. He needs to show that he can cover wide receivers in this league and improve his tools to be able to be a starting corner or a more of a bigger piece in the rotation. But for right now, I'm thinking maybe of a return guy and a special teams guy. All right, last pick. Wide receiver out of South Alabama, Jalen Wayne. This is why I chose Mr. Wayne. Mr. Wayne on his pros, he's good size and measurables. He's a big receiver, 6'2", over 200 pounds. He's physical downfield. He goes up with strong hands. Doesn't worry about going through traffic. He fights through jams at the line of scrimmage. He got violent hands. And he shows good short area quickness and a surprising burst once he gets the ball in his hands. Some of the things Mr. Wayne needs to work on, he sometimes spends too much time hand fighting to get off the line of scrimmage and not enough time actually running the route. So eventually he will win and come off that jam, but he almost like he wants to do it so perfectly and so well that he will take his time doing it, and that throws off his timing. He's got good short area quickness, but he's not particularly fast. He works best versus man because although he's quick, he doesn't always find the pockets in zone. A lot of times he overruns the zone pockets and the open areas in zone. He does a good job contesting catches, but often he double catches a lot where he doesn't catch the ball cleanly. And if you do that with NFL corners, they're going to snatch the ball away from you. So in summary, another boom or bust pick here. You put Warner's tape and his speed doesn't jump out at you, but he always finds himself open and he rarely gets run down from behind. So he's one of those guys where he's not super fast on film, but you don't see him getting caught when he gets behind the defender. He just needs to work on his hands, plain and simple. He needs to be able to catch the ball cleaner and not bobble and double catch. He has decent size, but his lack of top-end speed can work against him if he can't catch balls cleanly. All righty. That was that. Let me know what you guys think, man. These are the guys that I selected. Again, It's kind of difficult because we don't know who was available, because I did this draft offline. But these are the reasons why. And let me know what you think of the positions, what you think of the picks, the guys that I picked, who were some alternates. Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and show your support in that respect. Hit that notification button, so whenever we drop a new video, you'll be able to the one of the first ones to find out. All righty, guys. This is my version 2 draft, way too early version 2 draft. I'll do another one in a couple of weeks, but until then.